Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to use the first release of my Rune utility plugin. Um, Basically, this plugin is meant as a replacement for other utility plugins such as Essentials and things like that uh, for teleportation, time changing, and keep inventory systems. Except I'm going to do it while like balancing it all out, so it actually costs some kind of energy to teleport and things like that. Uh, in this first initial release, most of that is going to be XP based, but I will offer an energy system later on. In any case, like the original Runecraft, you'll have ink blocks to draw runes with. These are the acceptable ink blocks currently, ranging from least efficient to most efficient as far as energy use goes. So the idea is you'll draw like the base of your rune with these ink blocks and kind of um, fill out the rest of the rune with appropriate other blocks. Okay, so for the first rune, we'll draw a teleportation rune, which is ink blocks in this pattern, and like Runecraft, it will take a certain key. So in this case, I'm just going to be using colored wool. You can use any block you want for the key, and it'll be perfectly fine. Anyway, once you have your rune set up with the ink and the key, like this, you'll right-click the center, and the teleportation rune is registered. You'll see if I right-click it again, no links are found. Okay, so the second, when you're ready to place your second rune, you just do the same thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same ink, but the orientation of the key does matter. So you have to make sure that north faces north and south faces south, etc. So you right-click this one, register it, and you'll link it. Now, right now I have it to where it can either draw power from power hubs, which I'll get into later in a later video. They're not really fully fleshed out yet, or it can draw power from experience. Now, if I go into survival and give myself a little bit of experience, let's say 200. And if I shift right click the center of the thing, well, that's a little buggy. But it says it takes 12 power or 6 experience. And I can teleport from one to the other just like this. Now, the nice thing about this is it's a two-way teleporter, which is, I don't know, better than Runecraft in my opinion. I prefer the two-way. And also, these teleporters are going to be unique to each other. You cannot create another teleporter that will then interfere with these, so it's a very like private teleportation system, which is nice in my opinion. But anyway, as you can see, as I'm using this, my experience is going down. The required experience for teleportation is going to be based on the square root of the distance between the teleporters. So it will increase with distance, but only up to, like a certain amount. So you don't have to worry about huge costs. Anyway, on to the next rune. The next rune is going to be, let me pull up the schematic for it. The next rune is going to be what I call the Chrono rune, I guess. It had a very similar cousin in Runecraft, the Chrono trigger, but I made it a little better in my opinion, and well, let me start off better. I made it a little better in my opinion, and once again it uses some kind of power. So to draw it, you're going to put ink blocks. I have to look on my schematics to make sure I'm doing this right. In the following pattern, I believe. It's hard to tell because of how I have this drawn out. Okay, ink blocks in the following pattern, just like that. Then diamond blocks like this. Then another diamond block on top. Oh wait, no, an ink block on top, like that. So 5 diamond blocks and then an ink block on top. Then iron, like this, on all 4 corners. Just like this. And then gold pillars, 3 high. Or wait, 4 high? 4 high. 4 high gold pillars. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Also, one of the nice things about this, well, we'll see. Right, so we can see that the sun is going down, and we right click this, Chrono Rune registered, and we right click it and hold it. Damn it. What you're seeing is live debugging. Alright, so actual talk now. So live debugging is complete. This is working now. Okay. I had a problem making it work with experience. It just had a little bug. Anyway, so the Chrono Rune, you right click it and it will advance time, as you can see. It does require a pretty hefty bit of experience to do so, but I mean that's the price you're going to pay for speeding up time. That's a pretty overpowered little power, and I think it's pretty fair how many resources are actually required to make this. This should be more of an in-game thing. As well, the more players are on, the more power it's going to cost you. But of course, if you use a higher ink type, then you should be fine. Or like a more efficient ink or whatever. There is going to be like a base cost just because of how it's programmed, though, which I think this is the base cost. Kind of skips there a little bit, doesn't it? Whatever. Such is life. I think it has to do with how I calculate my experience or something. Yeah. Oh well. I'll figure that out later. Anyway. So that's the Chrono Rune. Let me just give myself a bunch of levels. Yeah, that should be fine. I'll advance time today. Right, that's just holding right click, like I said earlier. Okay, and the last rune, let me pull it up, is the rune death chest. So this is going to be like your classic keep env rune. How you build it is with 9 ink blocks, just like so. And then, well, excuse me, and then slabs. I'm pretty sure it can be any type of slab. So you don't have to build it exactly like this. So then any type of slab. And this is it. So you can register it. Now, Death Chest Rune registered, but not active, which is the important part. In order to activate the rune, you have to give it some reagents. Those reagents are 1 diamond block and 2 chests. These can go any place on top of the surface of the rune, so it can, I mean, it could be like this if you wanted. I just do it like this because it looks cool. but then you right click the center of the rune again, and you'll see that my death chest rune has been powered from my experience. The rune is activated and the proper rune setup is found. However, if I removed something like this, the rune is deactivated, rune is not set up properly. So you have to set it up properly, proper rune setup found, and then you'll be able to switch between activated and deactivated. Rune activated means your death chest protection is on. Rune deactivated means that it is off. So for example, if the rune was deactivated and I killed myself, you know what? I'm not sure where the spawn is at. Where am I at right now? Negative 166, 270. So if the rune is deactivated, well, let me get over here a little bit. And I die, nothing happens. There we go. However, if the rune is activated, the reagents are properly set up on the rune. Rune is powered, rune is activated, proper rune setup found. If the rune is activated, proper reagents are found, and it is powered. If I die, a death chest will appear at my death point. Containing the items that were in my inventory. And signs are placed on a stone block on top of the rune with the coordinates of my death. Of course, this consumes the reagents, meaning every time you die, you lose a block of diamond. So it's not something that you want to, it's not something that you want to have on active like all the time. And I think this brings a little bit more balance to it because it's basically like an insurance policy, essentially. Your items are guaranteed not to disappear, guaranteed not to burn up in lava. So like if you're down in the strip mines and you know you're using a very valuable diamond pick or two, it might be worth it to sacrifice a diamond block to have the insurance that that diamond pick isn't going to get burnt up in lava. So I think this is a pretty fair balance thing. And also it requires a pretty hefty amount of experience. But of course this all might be balanced out later, depending on how it tests in gameplay. So right now these are currently the only runes available. Well, actually I shouldn't say that. There's the rune, the mob harvest rune. Let me just make it for you guys really quick, and then you can figure out how to use it. Yes. So the mob harvest rune is made like this. 4, 5. And yeah. So these are ink blocks. Then you need redstone, and you'll also need lapis. So a ring of ink, then a ring of... come on, get out of here. Okay. Then a ring of redstone. Then another ring of ink. Then a ring of lapis. And an ink block. Mob harvesting rune registered. You'll see that there's 0 power stored in the rune. But when you kill things... Actually, creeper would probably be a bad choice. Skeletons. You'll see that when you kill... loud. When mobs die near the rune, the rune absorbs their power or something like that. And this can be used. Load 0. When runes are searching for a power source, it will go with the mob harvest rune first before taking away your experience. Notice that this teleporter is outside of the range of the mob harvest rune, so instead of taking it from the mob harvest rune, it's going to take it from my experience. The ink blocks for the mob harvest rune will increase the effective range in both collecting energy from mobs and distributing energy to your runes. So this is something that I would say is pretty valuable to have like at a home base, but you can use experience to get back. You don't have to set up a mob harvest rune literally everywhere. As well, this also means that in so many words, you could have a be out and about and then construct a teleporter, and then teleport back home using experience, which I think is pretty useful. So, yeah, this is the Rune utility plugin. Sorry, this was a long-winded video. Eventually, I'll make a more concise one when I do actually release. But this is what it is right now, and I hope that you guys will find this as a reasonable replacement to teleporter plugins and the like. So, looking forward to seeing you guys on the server. Yep. Bye.